Hello, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, core faculty for the College of Health Science and Public Policy at Walden University with a joint faculty appointment at Baruch University School of Medicine. And in this video, I wanted to quickly go over what the Paris Agreement is and how it pertains to us today. Even though it had been a number of years back this took place, I think it's very relevant here with us today. Their target is to not have the degrees Celsius be below 2 degrees Celsius. So it's a little bit more lax than the 1.5 that the IPCC was talking about. So I'm going to start off with this video.
What is the Paris Agreement? The Paris Agreement is a legally binding international treaty on climate change to limit global warming to well below 2, preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels. This requires economic and social transformation to face the climate challenges now and moving into the future based on the best available science. The Paris Agreement works on a 5-year cycle of increasingly ambitious climate action. By 2020, countries communicate their plans known as nationally determined contributions. Countries communicate actions they will take to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions in order to reach the goals of the Paris Agreement. Countries also communicate actions they will take to build resilience to adapt to the impacts of rising temperatures. This may include information on adaptation and finance flows. The Paris Agreement also provides a framework for financial, technical, and capacity building support to those countries who need it. Starting in 2024, countries report transparently on actions taken. Collective progress under the Paris Agreement will be assessed through a global stocktake. This will lead to recommendations for countries to set more ambitious plans in the next round.
So this was a little bit about the Paris Agreement. I was pretty interested in some of the commitment to making the global warming limited in well below 2. I think the 5-year cycle is interesting as well because this allows for economic and social transformation. Especially among nationally determined contributions. So the nationally determined contributions allows for communication, which will reduce the global greenhouse gas emissions. So building resilience is also important. Long-term strategies, of course, long-term low greenhouse gas emission development strategies. So the Paris Agreement invited countries to formulate and submit by 2020. And then the LTLEDS, which is the long-term low greenhouse gas emission, that provides the long-term horizon to the NDCs. Of course, the NDCs they place the context in that. So nationally determined contributions is NCD. So long-term horizon to the NDCs, of course, the nationally determined contributions. They're not mandatory, but still nationally determined contributions provide the framework and the context of countries' long-term planning and development priorities. How are countries supporting each other financially? Providing assistance, but also climate finance is needed, like mitigation and importance of adaptation. So again, capacity building, very important, especially emphasizing climate-related issues. And then technology, fully realizing technological development and transfer for both improving resilience to climate change. How are we tracking progress? Well, this says that enhanced transparency framework will allow, starting in 2024, countries to transparently be taking actions and progress in climate change, mitigation, adaptation, and what have you. It provides the international procedures for the review of the submitted reports. So that pretty much sums up everything. What we have achieved so far: low carbon solutions and new markets, carbon neutrality targets, zero carbon solutions, power and transport sectors. So by 2030, zero carbon solutions could be competitive in sectors representing over 70% of global emissions. This is a very ambitious goal, and so I think it's important to look at the specific goals and try to understand this. Of course, there's a lot more content in this website, in the COP27. So I urge you to go through these and carefully understand what specifically these mean. Thank you for listening.